the man maliciously hands his colleague a gun, instructing him to aim it at the intelligent attack robot, assuring him that there will be no danger.
Please put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
Upon hearing this, the colleague quickly drops his weapon, but to his surprise, the robot does not stop its warning, clearly indicating a system malfunction. The staff begins to panic as the robot continues to threaten. The people in the room descend into chaos, especially that unlucky colleague, whom everyone avoids. The colleague is riddled with bullets, and the robot keeps going. It isn't until the staff pulls the power supply that the robot finally powers down. At this point, everyone looks at the colleague and urgently shouts for an ambulance. The company president is furious. The Guardian designed to protect people's property has turned into an indiscriminate killing machine. To recover from the loss, the president orders the activation of the backup RoboCop plan. The reason it's a backup plan is because he needs a fusion of human and machine. Now that the plan is approved, the company sends 2 interns to capture Detroit's most notorious criminal, Clarence. Clarence is extremely brutal. When he notices a police car tailing him, he orders his men to slow down. He then turns around, signaling for everyone to be on guard and preparing to catch the police off guard. The officers drive around to the side and open fire with dual pistols, but Clarence's firepower is even more intense. In the ensuing chaos, they only manage to injure one of his men. Seeing his companion hurt, Clarence grabs him and tosses him into the approaching police car. While the police are distracted, the remaining robbers laugh arrogantly and leave. Murphy refuses to let these criminals escape and, without reinforcements, recklessly pursues them. He and Lewis break into Clarence's hideout. After dealing with one person, they are caught by Clarence's men. Clarence's viciousness is on full display. He first shoots Murphy in the hand, then breaks his arm. When he's done playing, he orders his men to finish Murphy off with a barrage of bullets. By the time Lewis arrives, all she sees is his colleague unconscious. Soon after, rescue arrives, and Murphy has just a breath left. The medical staff immediately begins treatment, but his injuries are too severe. Murphy eventually stops breathing, but his brain doesn't stop functioning. After an unknown amount of time, Murphy opens his eyes again. What he sees is a world resembling a computer screen, and in front of him is a group of people celebrating something. The company's upper management has used Murphy's apparent survival to turn him into a RoboCop. They've implanted an intelligent chip in Murphy, which allows him to quickly recognize objects and even locate and shoot with greater precision than an ordinary person. Most importantly, his body has been modified. The alloy armor covering him makes him nearly impervious to bullets, and all of his original memories have been erased. His new directive is to punish evil and protect the safety of ordinary citizens, but how effective his abilities are will only be determined after further testing. A girl is being chased by 2 thugs. She screams for help, but no one is there to help her. The thugs grab her, their eyes gleaming with greed. One pulls out a knife to cut off her hair, but still isn't satisfied and begins tearing at her skirt. Just as the girl is about to be assaulted, a flash of light suddenly appears. The one who arrives is none other than the modified RoboCop, Murphy. The thugs still attempt to hold the girl hostage for leverage, unaware that Murphy has already locked onto them through analysis. Murphy's programming is very human-like. He won't kill criminals, but will immediately confiscate their weapons. Not far away, an unexpected visitor enters a convenience store. Seeing the suspicious man, the storekeeper quickly hides the money on the table. As expected, the man is here to rob the store. However, he picked the wrong time and place. Murphy bursts through the door. The man, armed with a rifle, isn't willing to surrender, but his attack merely causes sparks to fly off Murphy's body. From that moment, Murphy becomes the city's knight of justice wherever there is crime. He will be there. Not long after, he encounters a man robbing a gas station. Upon seeing the man's face, Murphy freezes. A fragment of his memory recognizes him. This is the man who killed him. The man, seeing Murphy frozen, quickly starts his motorcycle. But this bastard doesn't just flee, he causes chaos by spilling gasoline, which is then ignited, setting the entire gas station on fire. Murphy emerges from the raging fire and shoots out the man's motorcycle tire. The remaining memories continue to torment Murphy. To uncover the truth, he connects his data to the information network and inputs the criminal's details. After a successful match, the members of the criminal gang appear, including Clarence, the one who caused him endless pain. The face of Clarence stays burned into his mind, and Murphy decides to settle the score. First, He targets one of Clarence's men. The man attempts to resist, but Murphy knocks his weapon out of his hands. The man tries to retaliate, but he's too overconfident. His ankle is broken, and Murphy grabs him by the hair, dragging him away. Clarence is next. Meanwhile, Clarence is at Bob's house, the one who developed the RoboCop. Without any hesitation, Clarence disables Bob, making him incapable of further action. It turns out that the true mastermind is Dick. Bob's RoboCop was so superior that it replaced Dick's robot. Taking his position at the company, Dick sent Clarence to eliminate the obstacle. Facing Clarence's ruthless tactics, Bob has no chance to fight back, but Clarence didn't come just to follow Dick's orders. He's gained enormous power from him. His illegal dealings have grown increasingly large, and he's been swallowing up other gangs. Clarence isn't worried about being caught because Dick has given him great privileges, but they've all forgotten about Murphy the RoboCop who only obeys orders. Based on the clues, Murphy found Clarence's location. These criminals, relying on their numbers, concentrated their firepower on Murphy. Countless bullets rained down, but under the protection of his alloy armor, the weapons in their hands were practically toys. Murphy, enduring the fire, took down these criminals one by one, and soon the entire factory fell silent. Clarence suddenly realized he was the only one left and turned to flee, but he was quickly captured by Murphy. After a series of brutal blows, Clarence reluctantly revealed that the mastermind was Dick. Although Murphy desperately wanted to finish off Clarence, his system instructions prevented him from doing so, so he handed Clarence over to the local police. This ruthless criminal, whom all the officers were powerless against, was finally apprehended, but the situation was far from over. Dick, upon learning that Clarence had been captured, quickly used his connections to have him released. Just then, Murphy appeared in front of him. Dick wasn't worried because he had added an extra instruction to Murphy's original commands. The instruction was, do not capture senior executives of the company. If violated, Murphy would shut down. Furthermore, he had a deadly weapon to protect himself. A Destructor robot made its grand entrance. Its target was the human-mechanical fusion smart exoskeleton. Which of the two robots would be stronger? The Destructor initiated the attack first. Murphy was caught off guard and was blasted out the door. Because the Destructor was made of full metal and its sole purpose was destruction, Murphy, with his human brain, couldn't fight back head-on. Facing his potential destruction, Murphy suddenly exploded with power, grabbing the Destructor's weapon and using its immense firepower to blow off one of its arms. Murphy was about to escape when the Destructor's shoulder launched a missile. He barely avoided it and quickly retreated to the stairwell. The Destructor followed closely but seemed unskilled at descending stairs. After a few attempts, it tumbled down. Taking advantage of the situation, Murphy exited the building, only to find that Dick's men had already set up outside. These men were tasked with eliminating Murphy. At a single command, 100 guns fired, and Murphy became a human torch. Even though his entire body was protected by alloy armor, he still couldn't withstand the continuous barrage. The attackers kept advancing, and Murphy struggled to reach the edge of the building. He managed to slip through a crack to the floor below. A police car suddenly stopped in front of him. It was his colleague, Lewis. With her help, Murphy finally escaped this perilous situation, but Dick wouldn't let him go, as Murphy held the evidence of his crimes. To eliminate this threat, Dick didn't hesitate to team up with Clarence again, using him to track Murphy's exact location. Clarence, leading his men, arrived quickly. This time, they came armed with powerful weapons to destroy the robotic cop. Murphy had already detected their presence and threw a metal plate to attract their fire. Once they arrived, Murphy, now in an elevated position, immediately opened fire. A fierce gunfight ensued. The criminals only knew how to charge forward, slowly falling into the trap Murphy had set. He revealed himself, standing in a conspicuous position, and a criminal attempted to rush him with a car. At that moment, Clarence seized the opportunity to knock down Lewis. As he was about to finish her off, Murphy suddenly appeared. Clarence remained calm because his ally was approaching Murphy's position from above. Clarence discarded his weapon and deliberately delayed, while his ally controlled a crane to bring in large steel beams.
Come on now, you're making me nervous.
Before they could celebrate, Lewis, who had been lying in wait, acted decisively. Clarence, seeing Murphy unable to move, grabbed a steel rod and charged at him. striking him repeatedly. He then pierced Murphy's chest with one powerful thrust, but Murphy seized the chance and finally dealt with this ruthless criminal, sending him to justice. Next, it was Dick's turn, the true mastermind. He was still recommending his Destructor robots to the company executives. At this moment, Murphy drove up, and the Destructor, attempting to stop him, was blasted into scrap by Murphy, who had prepared in advance. He made his way to the highest floor of the company, where Mike connected the data to the computer. Dick's actions were instantly exposed to the public. Seeing that his scheme was unraveling, Dick decided to take a desperate gamble. He drew a weapon and took the company president hostage. Mike was confident that he could handle it, but system instructions prevented him from taking action against company executives. Just then, the president spoke up.
Dick, you're fired!
Thank you.
The purpose of AI was to protect humanity, but if those in power had ulterior motives, then the AI would turn against their creators.